Hello everyone, this is Jerry from Paly Python, and today we'll be learning about how to get user input in Python. So let's just jump straight into an example. We can get user input using the input function, which is very straightforward because as its name suggests, it prompts somebody for input in the terminal. So if we have print input here, then the program will just print whatever I type here. It will just print whatever the user inputs. So it doesn't matter, it could be strings, numbers, it'll print it. Now the input function actually takes one parameter, which is the thing that the user is prompted with in the terminal. So as you notice, it's just blank right now. Once the user is asked for input, we could have a more descriptive message, such as enter a name, for instance. And note that we should put a space after as the last character in the string, because this creates a nice gap in between the message and the place where the user has to type. So if the space wasn't here, then it would just be pressed against the colon and it wouldn't look very good. So let's say enter a name, then this would just print the name. So this is basically how you use the input function. And the input function actually has a return variable, which means you could set a variable equal to the value of the input function. Now you'll learn more about return later in the functions lesson, but for now, you just understand that it means that we could assign a variable to the result of the function. So let's have name equals input enter name, and then we could print a short message, your name is, and then the name. And so this program will prompt the user for their name, and then print out your name is, and then their name. So this is just the basic example of how you would use input function with strings. Now let's say you wanted the user to enter a number. So instead of enter a name, we'll put enter a number. So num equals input enter number. And then we'll print your number is num. And then let's have a simple logical check here. So print 3 equals the num. So if 3 equals the num, then this will just print out true in the console because Python evaluates this expression. So this should work, right? We have a prompt, enter a number, enter 4. It says your number is 4 and false because 3 is not equal to 4. But let's try 3 here. So it prompts us for a number again. We'll enter 3. And then you'll see that this statement actually evaluates the false. Our number is not 3. Now how does this work? What Python does is it takes your input as a string, not as an integer. So if you want to check if a number is equal to an integer, you actually need to convert it to an int first. And we could do this using the int function. So all you need to do is put int around this, and it will take the string value of input and convert it to an integer, assign it to a number. So now our program will work. So if we enter 3, then you'll see that this statement evaluates the true. So that's just one quirk of working with the input function. Always notice that input is taken as a string and not any other data type. So that's all for the input lesson, and the source code will be linked in the description.